And the thing is, how do you create that mood and that atmosphere and be secure enough to stay there? See, Hitchcock's films, take away a Psycho and take away a Rebecca, they're not very super successful. They always, they made around twice the amount of money invested in it at the gross receipts. You see, a Birds was made around $3.5 million, made around $7 million. His most successful film was Psycho, which made around $50 million worldwide. But I'm saying his films were not really successful at that time even. And they did not get great critical reception at that time. People were very uncomfortable with Marnie. People were very uncomfortable with Birds. They were very uncomfortable with a whole lot of, what's it called? Even Psycho, when it came out, it had terrible reviews. When the box office receipts came in, the reviews changed and became good reviews. So I'm saying he faced at that time a similar kind of criticism and a lack of box office. He was already a master because his first film in Hollywood was Rebecca, and it won the Best Film Academy Award. It did not win an award for him, but for the film. So it set a precedent, first of its kind. And that lasted his career, and he built careers. And his films did not lose money, but they did not make obscene amounts of money at that time. And neither did he get such incredible reception or like great critical reviews. His better reviews were in Europe, in France.
Yeah, and all the admirers also there. Beginning
Yeah.
In that scenario, would you say there has been any true inheritor of the Hitchcock legacy, so to speak? Or should we even call it inheritor, so to speak?
I don't know. There's a lot of filmmakers. Hitchcock, you can see influence of Hitchcock everywhere. He's been the most influential filmmaker in the world, I will tell you, in the sense that what he created a prototype for what has become the new mainstream Hollywood blockbuster. Like everything from a Die Hard, from a Mission Impossible, all those things are technically enhanced versions of Hitchcock. Not just that, and when you go into another zone, which is moody, which is more personal, which is more, what do you say, that cerebral zone, you see a David Fincher. David Fincher creates that zone, that creates that kind of attention.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies impacted and influenced by him are today reduced to being genre movies. You see what he did practice a lot more by filmmakers, say in Hong Kong, Japan, Australia. You see Justin Kurzel, or they borrow from the mood of Hitchcock and they kind of go in there. I would say the most prominent being Fincher. But the storytelling wise, I don't know. In the sense, he has influenced a whole wide range. People borrow from him all the time. The one thing that everybody borrows from him is his climax had this great monuments.
If I were to ask you what specific films of yours, or even within the other films, do you see yourself going back to Hitchcock as a filmmaker when you are making films?
No, this is first time during the lockdown. I'm consciously revisiting all the Hitchcock and Fritz Lang and noir, and this is first time I'm doing a conscious exercise. Subconsciously, I think the one thing that has really impacted me more is conversations of Hitchcock, where he talks about how he approaches telling a story, of treating everything like a suspense film, the constantly maintaining. He insisted a lot on the performances and writing the scenes, the wit that flows through the scenes, the sarcasm that flows through the scenes. So I'm saying those are things, those are minute things that, like, as a person, you try to do, try to create tension within a given scene, or perspective. My whole shooting style is just shooting perspective. I just follow the characters. So there's no specifically a design that you come in with when you're shooting a film. So those are things, yes, definitely you borrow from Hitchcock, but more from conversations of his because I consciously did not remember any visuals or things from his films until I revisited them now.
And that you're doing consciously, revisiting, so to speak.
Yeah.
Any others? I mean, we always think of Sriram as, being Hitchcockian.
I'm thinking, yeah, because Sriram is influenced by Vijay Anand and discovered Hitchcock, I think, through Vijay Anand.
He's more
Sriram's,
Anand, you feel.
Sriram's bigger, I think Vijay Anand was the man who was the true kind of offspring of Hitchcock, in a way. And
Somebody,
Sriram is an offspring of Vijay Anand.
somebody is here is saying Stanley Kubrick is better than Hitchcock. Your thoughts on him?
I don't have thoughts on that. Like for me, my favorite and greatest filmmaker is Fritz Lang. So I'm saying is much before Hitchcock and Kubrick and everything. Hitchcock himself borrowed a lot from Fritz Lang. So I don't get into this whole thing of who's better, because there's so many great filmmakers and they all had their own thing. So my age, if you ask me when I was 25, 26, I'll say this is a greater filmmaker and that is a better filmmaker, and I'll also fight you for it. But today I'm like, you know what? There's so many great filmmakers and everybody had their own thing. So that age is past where somebody tells me what's your favorite film. I don't do that anymore. So वो age चला गया, मैं 20 साल पहले निकल गया.
Somebody is pointing out Raman Raghav 2.0. I didn't read the entire question, but that was pointed out in relation to Hitchcock.
Topsy just said this is the longest live session I've been on. At least she hates doing uncomfortable films. She's doing.
So she's here. And
Yes, she's sending messages.
Maybe she would have kind of.
No, in this sense, Raman Raghav, I don't know. See, I think everything I do is probably influenced by him. Raman Raghav for me is more influenced by Sriram Raghavan. Sriram Raghavan's Raman Raghav.
Okay.
So Sriram Raghavan's Raman Raghav, there's one particular shot where the person is like, in the bathroom where Raman Raghav is trying to make a kill and the camera keeps moving between that person who's standing outside the line and moves here and there. So my entire Raman Raghav is actually influenced by that one single shot. More Sriram Raghavan than anybody else.
Strangers on a Train, everybody wants to know.
Yeah. What about Strangers on a Train?
Yeah, talk about it. Isn't it one of the greatest Hitchcock ones? That's what.
Yeah, Strangers on a Train is like, it's a great film. But Strangers on a Train, there's a Hindi version also of it, no? Strangers. With Jimmy Shergill, Anand Rai's version.
KK was there in it.
And Anand Rai's version.
From the train, which was a comic side of it.
Yeah, but Strangers on a Train also questions the morality of it. Like, a person, they make think that you kill this for me, I kill that for you.
And the mother figure.
Yeah.
The mother figure. The Bruno figure somewhere anticipated Bates, right? I don't know. I mean, I just always thought.
Yeah, but it's like, one thing that Hitchcock used to do, which he did in Strangers on the Train, which he did in Dial M for Murder, he tells you what is going to happen. He tells you how it is going to happen. Because the characters talk about it. And then sets you, and then takes one, like, it's almost like social distancing. Takes a matchstick out of it. And then it all falls apart. So I'm saying that's a way of telling, in the sense, the various ways of telling a suspense movie, where I as an audience don't know what is going to happen. Where the suspense is, where I as an audience know what is going to happen, but the character in the movie does not know what is going to happen. And I'm watching it for him to see, boss, you wait till you get surprised by how things turn out. So it is always, he sets up expectations, and sometimes he sets up false expectations. He takes you along, and then he leaves your hand. That's what he does. That's what he did in Strangers on the Train. That's what he did in Dial M for Murder. He sets up and things. You're like, am I watching a suspense film? Dial M for Murder becomes about this man who's planning how to kill the wife and everything, and then suddenly it becomes a film about wife is falsely accused. How will they catch him? I know who the killer is, but how will they catch him? So it still grips you because you're watching the film for that. Strangers on a Train is also like, you said things, okay, this is what is going to happen, but that doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, but you know the scenes and scenes and scenes that you remember. That particular
Incredible.
that
I don't know which film it was, but I saw amongst his writers, this Dorothy Parker was a writer in that film. I think Young and Innocent. That whole kind of a the writing has a kind of a ruthlessness and viciousness to it. The sarcasm where the characters are constantly character assassinating each other. Their wit, every character has a wit, which is like it's on their mouth. They give it back. The retorts are so strong. The writing is so good. Nobody can hold a conversation of two people better than Hitchcock. But after that, we used to see Before Sunrise and After Sunrise and all that. But I'm saying at that time, Hitchcock makes you sit there and just see two people talking, and you're interested in that because they're saying things that you wouldn't expect them to say. Our writing, when we do, is so functional. Hitchcock's writing serves a purpose, and it takes you in there, and it really also makes you feel like, oh my God, how did he say that? I can never say that. But there's a lot of magic in his writing or writing the conversations.
slightly going off because people have some other questions to ask you.
Okay,
I
one minute, I'll put the lights on. Yes.
So, are you making happy love story next? What's happening to Doga and Sacred Games 3?
अरे कुछ नहीं, there's no doga happening. I have finished making 2 movies, and they will soon be out and soon be announced once the lockdown is done. Already finished making 2 films, and I have the next film I'm making with Tapsi, and after that I go into another series of things. But I hope the lockdown gets over because we're supposed to shoot in June.
Is Birds a pandemic movie? I'm just
What?
saying, whatever is Birds a pandemic movie?
No, I did not understand.
I mean, they're looking at it as a pandemic film, if Birds is.
Yeah, but I think the whole world was like trying to make a pandemic film. I would make something else in the sense. And we have seen Contagion.
Somebody wants Ozu discuss. Ozu.
Ozu. Yeah. What about Ozu?
Your views about Ozu. Sir, please talk about Ozu.
Arey, you know what? My biggest learning in last 1 month has been in the lockdown that what I thought I remembered about these films and knew about these films is not spot on. I just recently saw Harakiri again. So I decided that I'm going to revisit all the old films because I've been so caught up making movies and fighting the censor board and everything last 15 years that I need another cinema education. So I'm the last person to be giving any gyan on any of the filmmakers. I can talk about filmmakers. That's why I can't really. I Last time I saw Ozu was more than 16 years back. So I don't want to talk from that perspective. I need to revisit all these films. I've got all the lineup here. See, I'll show you. I've lined up films like this. This is so Hitchcock gets over there, then the Fritz Lang starts, then the Herzog starts. So I'm like literally, I'm going to.
So you're stuck in a period then, huh?
I want to go right from the beginning. Like I'm doing exactly the same thing. I want to first finish everything before the 50s and 60s, and then come to now because अभी का जो है वो सब याद रहता है क्योंकि आपने अभी consciously एक ऐसे stage पे देखा है. But for me, I need to go back to where it all started from again. I'm watching all the silent movies.
And these are all your personal collections.
They're all my personal collections. So this is all my right now because I'm moving into a new place, so it's all not opened. It's all there.
So
I'm
this is.
taking it out and I'm watching everything.
I thought the last time I visited you, that other house, you had very
Yeah.
properly arranged it all.
No. There's always बहुत सारा arrange हो रहा है अभी. My whole library because of lockdown, my library that was being constructed is not fully done.
And this is
So
binge watching, is it? You kind of watch one after another?